Well, howdy friends, Brian Flechsig of Mad River Outfitters in the Midwest Fly Fishing Schools, and welcome back to another one of our fly fishing tutorials. You know, it was a couple of years ago, it might have been 10 years ago, I don't know, but we did a video where I talked about the fact that you never want to reel your leader all the way up into your reel. Okay, that's really not a good thing for a couple of reasons. You always want to leave a little bit of tippet or leader sticking out when you go to put your reel away. First and foremost, if any of you have done that, okay, you've got to get in there and dig around and try to find the tippet end, and then it's a pain, and then you pull it out. Well, also, as you're digging around there, what it does is it causes under wraps. That tippet and then the leader might get under wrapped under a wrap of line or the leader itself, and eventually, especially if you're big game fishing, those under wraps could come back to haunt you. And if you do this repeatedly, you could have dozens and dozens of under wraps. But, you know, it's a thing. In fact, you know, so many people chimed in on that video and they had never heard of such a thing. And now we have people coming to Mad River Outfitters, bringing their reels and asking us to check for under wraps. And we do. We have to take off the entire fly line and then get to the backing. And sure enough, there's almost always under wraps that you have to undo. In that original video that I did, I proposed a solution where we took a rubber band and we tied the tippet to the rubber band and then just put the rubber band around the reel foot. In fact, that video is linked right here, or you can go down, if you can't see it linked right there, you can go down to the description of the video. Always tons of information and links in the descriptions. Along came OROS indicators. And if you're not familiar with these things have really made an impact on the strike indicator world, if there is such a thing. They are by far the #1 selling indicators on the market, no question. OROS. Again, if you're not familiar, guess what? I've got a video or two for you, linked right there. So OROS indicators, you know, I think some folks kind of made fun of us because we called them game changing. Well, in our small little world, our microcosm of fly fishing, well, they were kind of game-changing for those of us that fish nymphs and for those of us that sell the tackle. I found a second use for them. We pulled our team of crack scientists here, also they're chemists, and we came up with this solution. Just attach an OROS indicator to the end. There you go. Okay, if you're not familiar with the OROS indicators, they unscrew. They've got kind of a male side with a slit right down the middle and the female side. And all you do is, of course that's going to require glasses. You just slide your tippet right through that slit on the male side and you tighten the female side down. And bada book, bada bing, you will never reel your tippet all the way up into your reel again. So it's super easy, and now when I'm teaching classes, all of our school rods and have these on them, so now when I'm teaching classes, I'm walking around the whole day with a pocket full of OROS indicators, and at the end of the day, before people reel up the lines to put them away and we part ways, I have them put that OROS indicator back on the tippet and then reel it up. It's super easy. So I use the medium size OROS for most of my, say, 6 weight and up, which is of course mostly what I fish. If you're a trout fisherman and you've got, say, 4X, 5X, 6X tippet maybe, you can go to the small OROS indicator. If you do find that it slides off the end, I'm sorry, but yeah, we're wasting 2 cents worth of tippet, but tie a little knot and it'll prevent this from sliding off. Not a big deal, but this will grip onto 4X, 5X, sometimes even 6X in the small size in the OROS indicator. Tighten it down pretty good and it won't come off, and then you're always going to be able to grab onto your tippet and easily find it, take that off, string up your rod. So here's another cool thing you can do with this. If you go on a trip, y'all know this, it's when we arrive in Montana, or we get to the Bahamas, or we get to a place where we're fishing with guides, and you want to get your leader right. So we kind of have dinner, maybe make a cocktail, and then rig up our leaders just properly, but you might not know what fly the guide wants you to have. And especially on a lot of trips, the guides provide the flies, so you're not going to tie on a fly. So if you want your rod rigged up and ready to go for the morning, get your leader on there and come through your hook keeper, and then put your OROS on the end of your tippet, and then your rod is rigged up. It's ready to go for the morning. You've cleaned and dressed your fly line, and then it's ready to go. You've got your OROS indicator there. All you have to do is take it off, and then the guide can put on a fly for you. If you don't have a hook keeper, just come through the guide. You could probably figure that out yourself, but I'm going to show you anyway. Best just to let him finish, Clark. You can still do this, and then I tighten her up, and then my leader's right there and ready to go. For the morning, when I wake up and the guide shows up and says, "Let me see your rig," and I say, of course I have a proper leader on there, because I know all about leaders. And now you're ready to tie on a fly. So it's another way of using these OROS indicators in this situation. I think it's kind of a cool tip. And for those of you that didn't like the rubber band one, that's fine. Hopefully this will work for you. You're not wasting 3 cents a tippet every time you do this. But don't reel your leader all the way up into your reel. Does bad things, okay? Get yourself a couple of these OROS indicators. If you go in my basement, I don't know, I've got 30, 40 fly reels on a pegboard, which we're gonna show you at some point soon. I've got a cool system of how I keep my rods and keep my reels in my fishing basement. And you'll see every single reel hanging on the wall now has an OROS indicator hanging off of it. Does it look like? No, my reel wall looks much better than that. It's not. I'm not responsible for that. So anyway, stay tuned. We'll take a tour of my basement before long, and I'll show you where I keep all my rods and reels. And I've done some pretty cool things. Some of it which I learned from Lefty. Some of it I kind of came up with on my own. Or occasionally I have an original idea. So anyways, there you go. A different use for the OROS indicator. I think it's pretty cool. So as always, friends, thanks for being here. Thanks for playing along. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate y'all. As we often say, we wouldn't be here if it weren't for all of you. So be sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss an episode. Hit the like button, stay tuned, and be sure to watch this video here and this video here, and we'll see you real soon. The legendary Flip Pallet Leader Wad, available exclusively at Mad River Outfitters. Ultimate leader storage device. It travels with me everywhere I go. Pick it up at madriveroutfitters.com.